Okay, here we are. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is MiniTool Partition Wizard, which I used already, but I want to show you how it works. So look at here. Let's go here to this PC. So this is my SSD. This is my secondary hard drive. And this is my Google Drive, which is virtual. Now I have Mom's hard drive plugged in via USB, but see, it doesn't show. And this was the frustration that I had, because the drive works, right? But it doesn't boot anymore. And when you plug it into the computer, it doesn't show. So how do you get the data? So you go here to, let's say, disk management, and this will load. And this is why I didn't throw the drive away, because I know the information's there, right? You just have to be able to access it. So a lot of times what happens is when you plug in a hard drive that's kind of questionable or bad, it takes a long time for disk management to load. See how it's taking a long time? It's a little bit confused. So here's my main drive, there's the secondary drive. But look here, disk 3, 500 gigs. The drive is there. The information's there. And if I recall correctly, what happens is, this happens a lot on Dells and HPs and old office computers. The MBR, or master boot record, gets sort of corrupted from all of the years and years and years of use. They get hot, hard drives get hot, people forget that. And so the MBR, or the boot record, is basically what tells your computer where all the files are. And this is often the first thing that gets corrupted. So if the MBR gets corrupted, then it doesn't know where the files are. So look, there's nothing. So what we do is we load up this partition wizard. Now in here, data recovery, the drive should be here. There it is. And you scan the drive. It's so easy. You just scan it. Takes a while. But what ends up happening is it'll show you all of the files that are on the drive, and it will let you select what you want to save. Now I'm not sure if you can save the entire image. That's probably an option, but I didn't do it that way. So what I did was I let it scan the files, and then if you go here to backup, Mom, here's all the files. I did this already before. And so it just manually pulled all the files off the hard drive, pictures, documents, PDFs, whatever, and it kind of dumps it out in you know, in the same format as it was, but you kind of have to sift through it and see which documents you want, because I made it grab everything. So it grabbed the windows, it grabbed whatever programs were installed, stuff like that. But it worked. It worked, and it was worth it for me to get those files back for her. And everything, you know, we had to reinstall Windows, we had to start all over again. She thought these files were gone forever, but they're here now. We can put them on a flash drive. There's probably some pictures in there and some information that she needed. That's the easy one, okay? That's the easy one. But I want to talk about the hard one. So my personal hard drive which I mentioned before in the first video. So I had a MyBook, which is one of these guys. Let's see if I can find it. So it was something like this. One of these. And what happened was, this is a MyBook that you could plug into the Ethernet port, and you could access your files from your network. You could also access them from remote places. So if you weren't home, you could log into the MyBook file thing and you could access all your files. And I put everything on there. All my files. This is before cloud. I didn't know what cloud was back then. This is 2012, 2013. I just put all my files in this MyBook, and it was great. It was great for about 6 months. The drive was actually pretty new at the point when I had it. And then one day I came home and the MyBook was not connected. So I went to the router and it was not plugged into the internet port anymore. And my roommate at the time, he said, well, I cleaned the area where the internet stuff is, so I unplugged your drive. And then I plugged it back in and it didn't work anymore. And I tried everything. It's been now, what, 13 years, 12 years since I did that. It's never worked. I tried several ways, methods, things, how to get the files back. I actually don't even have the enclosure anymore. I just had the hard drive. And so just recently I learned that the files on the MyBook are stored in sort of a Linux type system. And since I now have Linux on my computer, I thought, oh, well, maybe I can plug it in and I can access the files. So I did plug it in Linux. It did see the files, but I couldn't access anything. It kept saying permission denied because they're encrypted. There's a password on it. So lo and behold, MiniTool Partition Wizard, which I was using for her hard drive, I plugged in the MyBook drive and it found everything. I don't have it plugged in now to show you, but I plugged it in and you could see all the partitions. There was like 5 different ones. It was really weird. It wasn't like Windows. It was like there was a partition and another partition and another partition, and there was 3 that looked the same. I don't know if it backs up itself to different partitions. Anyway, it was very strange, and so I plugged it in. I clicked on data recovery like I did with this one, and it did the same thing. It found all of these files. Tons and tons and tons of files. And I recorded doing that, but it's not here anymore for some reason. But it actually did. It took a long time because there was a lot of files. It was only about, it wasn't even 200 gigs, I think, the total of it, but it found everything. And it downloaded all the files. So imagine getting back all your information from more than 10 years ago that you wished you had. I had pictures of family, pictures of my dog when she was a puppy, which has passed on now, which I lost. I had events that I went to back then, and it was great. I don't know how to clarify how important it was to get those files. I mean, I've been carrying this hard drive around with me. I've lived in 4 different places since then, and I keep carrying this hard drive around because I knew the files are always on the hard drive. They're always available. It's just, you just need the program to get to it. And this is it. And the question now is, what would you pay for that? If you had a hard drive, or let's say even a phone, and you had important pictures on there that you lost, and someone said, I can get those pictures back for you, how much would that cost? And I think most people would say it's probably worth $100. That's what I think. I don't know about if it was $200, that might be a lot, but I've noticed and I've talked to people that have lost pictures, they would pay hundreds of dollars to get back. And so I did find a program before this one that would let you pull those files out, but it was $60 a month. And that's kind of too much. And then you have to buy a year, so it's like, that's crazy. So let's talk about how much does it cost. So here's MiniTool, Partition Wizard. Let's go to Power Data Recovery. So here it is. This is the cost for recovering your data. And it worked for me in both cases. So how much is too much? That's the question. So you have, it's $69 for a month. Okay, that sounds like a lot, right? The thing is, for most people, you only need to do it once, right? Once you get all your data off, you kind of probably won't use it anymore. So I think that's fair, $69 to get all your information back. This one is probably better. It says personal annual subscription is $89. So now you're getting an entire year for $90. Again, I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like who would pay $100 for getting their information back? But the thing is, you cannot replace those pictures. You cannot replace information. I've seen people go out to eat sushi and the bill is $100 or Red Lobster or whatever. So if you think that this is too expensive, then you're probably just, I don't know what to say, but think about it this way. If you were to buy the annual subscription, you could technically use it again for somebody else, for a friend or whatever, not for commercial use, but probably somebody at some point in time is going to have their hard drive die and you could actually get their data back. So up to you which one. I would have, personally, I would have paid the $69 to get those files back. I'm sure that she would have also paid the $60 to get her information back. If you were to take a hard drive to Geek Squad or Best Buy or whatever, they charge you $100 just to look at the drive. And then they charge you $200 to recover the data. And if you call any data recovery specialist, it's basically a minimum of $200 to get your information back. And so I feel like when I first saw this, I thought, wow, that's kind of expensive. But now that I've been through the process and I've used it, it's not. It's really not. If you can think of a way to do this for free, then let me know. But I don't think so. At some point, you have to pay for it. If it was me, I would just split it with somebody, maybe go halvesies on it. But yeah, in fact, look, if you pay 69 for a month, you can upgrade. It says free upgrade here. You just pay the $20 difference. But look at this, $99 for a year. Perpetual license. You can use it on 3 different computers. So I don't think it's that bad. There is a Mac version also. That's interesting. Same price, kind of. Technician. Oh. And also there's some other things that are not really advertised here, but you can use this Pro version to duplicate drives. So if you're selling a lot of PCs, you could make an image of a drive and then deploy that across multiple drives so you don't have to install Windows every time. I know there's Rufus and all that, but this is a much better, cleaner option. So tell me what you think. Is this, do you think that's too much? Is it worth it? What would you do? I was able to get all my pictures back. I was able to get all the data back for Mom. And to me, that's worth anything at this point. So let me know. Thank you for watching, and we'll use this again.